Today I would like to give you a brief overview about the medium power laser drivers manufactured by PicoLAS. Let's start right away with the LDP CW20-50. It's a very small, common and mostly sold 1 kilowatt laser driver. It's a base plate cooled PWM switch mode controlled device with a very high efficiency, so you need no additional cooling. You've got the input screw terminals and the output. You can control it via the TTL and analog input or with the RS232 command. It's good for up to 20 amps with a compliance voltage of up to 50 volts. You have both interfaces and it's normally in stock with a very small size. All the necessary cables are part of the package. The next and more powerful device is the LDP CW90-10. It's up to 90 amps. It's still base plate cooled. You have now larger screw terminals for the input and output, but you have the same control connectors like with the existing 20-50. It's roughly again for 1 kilowatt, but for a much higher current and of course a bit lower compliance voltage. It is a bit higher, but you see that the mounting footprint is similar to the LDP CW20-50. Under development is a fully isolated version of that unit. If you have a laser diode, for instance, being mounted by the positive contact with a contact to chassis, you need an isolated system. So we built in the isolation transformer. It's still called LDP CW90-05, so we have a reduced compliance voltage and it's called ISO because the output terminals are fully isolated compared to the input. Once again, it's base plate cooled, has got a very high efficiency, and you have the same control interfaces like with all the other drivers manufactured from PicoLAS. The next in the family is the LDP CW130-05. It's an still base plate cooled switch mode regulated driver, now for up to 130 amps and compliance voltages around 5 to maximum 10 volts. You see that we still maintain the large screw terminals on both sides for the higher currents and that we have both control interfaces like the RS232 and the TTL. It is normally on stock and you see that it is a bit larger compared to the other devices. Last but with some smart features is the CWL90-10. What is the L standing for? It's a linear post regulator, which means that we have a similar architecture like with the CW130-05 or with the 90-10. But we have a linear post regulator, which means that we have a very, very smooth and very high precision current regulated at the output. So whenever you need a very low noise driver with a very high extinction ratio, for instance to switch off your laser whenever a certain power level at the output is achieved, then this is the perfect choice. You see the input terminals and the output terminals, it's standard screw terminals, and you see the control interfaces which you need to control the special driver.